What's up, Motorheads, and welcome back to Gearbox Pizza. Today we got something a little bit different for you. So, check it out. Flying cars, well, they're here, kind of. So throw on your go-to sweatpants, toss a ham and cheese hot pocket in that microwave, pop open a Capri Sun, and grab that special spot on the sofa because this might just blow your mind just a little bit. So yeah, I feel like they've been kind of promising us these flying cars for at least 50 years now. You know, in the cartoons and the movies, kind of in my imagination. I don't know, flying cars have always been that crazy cool tech that's just always been out of reach. Well, things are about to get a little interesting, that is for sure. And get this, the company that's made it happen first, and I am not making this up, they are actually called Jetson. And this giant ass drone with a seat kind of thing is called the Jetson 1, and believe it or not, you can order one right now. Okay, so a little about the amazing nut jobs at Jetson. So it was founded back in 2017 by a couple of Swedish fellas. You got Peter and Thomas, and they've managed to just beat everybody to market. Oh, and get this, there looks to be about 150 or so different companies that are trying to build and sell one of these flying car things. And look, these Swedes, they got there first, so well done fellas, good on you. Alright, so let's take a good look at this thing. And first things first, it ain't cheap. Nope, this thing is going to cost you, get this, $92,000. But look, honestly, they could probably charge a whole lot more, and I bet these things would still sell out. I mean, that's what you can basically do when you've got no competition and you're just there first, right? Anyway, so after you drop that 92 large, get this, you gotta assemble this thing yourself. Well, not the whole thing. It does come partially assembled, but you gotta wrench the other 50% yourself. So, yeah, no pressure, right? Yeah, look, I wouldn't exactly tackle this after, downing a few tall boys with your neighbor and his war vet buddy Carl. So, anyway, this whole thing is a little bit odd. And I'm wondering if there's a legal reason for doing this. I think there might actually be different rules for self-assembled or self-bit flying machines. But look, I'm no aviation expert. If you know how this stuff works, just please leave a comment. Would love that. All right, so let's start looking at some of the specifics. And to start, this thing weighs a pretty light 190 pounds. But fellas, you better pass on that extra cheesy bread and maybe get acquainted with the nothingness that is, the boring taste of water, because if you weigh more than 210 pounds, well, kiss goodbye to carbs, because that is the weight limit to fly one of these. You could always become a level 5 vegan, where you just don't eat anything that casts a shadow.
I'm a level 5 vegan. I won't eat anything that casts a shadow.
Wow.
But look, anyway, top speed on this thing, software limited to a pretty quick and perhaps terrifying 63 miles an hour, and flight time should last about 20 minutes, and look, a little bit of quick math gives this turkey about, a range of about 21 miles, right? And these numbers aren't totally amazing, but they are totally fine, especially for a V1. And look, the numbers are only gonna get better from here. Look, do you remember the first iPhone? Yeah, so, and who knows, a few versions later, maybe this thing can go twice as fast and can run for an hour or two, I don't know. So I can't find much info as far as recharge times go, but look, and I seriously doubt there's a DC fast charger for this thing, so let's expect charging times to be measured in hours and not minutes. And look, alright, so there's more room for improvement here, but again, this is all totally cool considering these guys are pretty much making history. So anybody who's ever owned or flown a drone knows that these things just kind of love to crash in sort of spectacular fashion, so I could understand if this thing makes you a little bit nervous. Well, the guys at Jetson, they know that safety's gotta be a big concern, and they've done just about everything you could think about to dull the sharp knife of terror that you probably feel when you strap yourself into this flying panic attack. Alright, first things first, the shell. Well, look, it's basically a roll cage. And the Swedes, they took inspiration from race car roll cages, so I'd say that's a pretty solid start. But look, what happens if one of the 8 motors fail? Well, no problem. It can compensate and adjust power delivery for the dead motor without issue. It's got a bunch of LiDAR sensors for terrain tracking and obstacle avoidance, as you'd probably expect. The flight computer, it's also got 3 levels of redundancy, and I really can't imagine the odds of all 3 computers failing within a 20-minute flight being really all that high. All right, lastly, and if everything just goes down the crapper, there's actually a ballistic parachute with this rapid deployment thing. And look, this thing isn't exactly new tech either. I mean, there's some small passenger aircrafts that have had this technology for a while, so look, at least it's been tested pretty well. All right, so this thing might be really expensive and offer, like a pretty short flight time, but to be critical of this amazing slice of technology pie would be kind of missing the point. I mean, it's a starting point, and in some ways it could be sort of like the flying T of model cars. I mean, look, it's only gonna get better and cheaper from here, and if this doesn't totally excite you, I don't know what to tell you, but we're probably not gonna be pals. That's all right.